Today, we're going over an exceptional routine to warm up your rotator cuff using nothing other than your arms. It's a protocol developed by renowned throwing and shoulder specialist Dr. Tom House. If you don't know who he is, you might know who he's worked with. He's sought out by some of the biggest names you can come across in the world of professional sports for helping athletes take their throwing and shoulder mechanics to the next level. This includes the names of people such as Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, Tim Tebow, and many, many other throwing professionals. And as we go through this routine, keep in mind that these exercises and movements are intended for an otherwise healthy set of shoulders, so if you have a shoulder condition, consult with a qualified professional to determine if these shoulder movements are appropriate for you. Now, all of these movements should be pain-free, so if anything hurts or doesn't feel right, skip the movement for the time being. So here we go, 11 quick exercises that will thoroughly prepare and warm up your rotator cuff. Now follow along as I demonstrate these movements so that you can begin committing them to memory. For the saw exercise, keep your elbows directly beneath your shoulders. Then, with your palms facing up, push and pull your elbows forwards and backwards in a sawing motion. Then point your thumbs up in the air so your forearms are in a neutral position and repeat the movement. And after that, rotate your palms down towards the floor and repeat for a handful of repetitions one more time. For rocking the baby, place your palms up with one forearm on top of the other, similar to as if you were holding a baby. The fingertips of your top forearm should be touching the crease of your elbow at the bottom of your biceps. From there, pull your arms apart and bring them back to the starting position with the opposite forearm on top. Perform this movement while alternating which forearm is on top. Next, turn your palms towards you and repeat the motion. Then turn your palms down and repeat the pattern. For the scissor exercise, bring your elbows together so that they're in contact with one another or as close together as possible. And with your palms facing up, scissor your hands apart and alternate which hand is on top with each repetition. Try to keep your elbows together or as close as possible throughout the process. Next, repeat this process with your palms turned towards the floor. For the YM or Y me exercise, start with your palms facing towards one another with your arms raised up to 90 degrees and your elbows bent to 90 degrees. Without letting your shoulders drop down, rotate your forearms down towards the floor while turning your hands so that your thumbs point down towards the ground. After that, repeat the same pattern, but start with your palms facing away from one another and then rotate your forearms down while turning your hands so that your thumbs point towards the ceiling. For the forearm presses, place your palms together so that your hands and your forearms are in contact with one another. Then press your hands and forearms together and hold for 5 seconds. Next, repeat this 5-second hold with your palms facing towards you, then repeat it one more time with your palms facing away from you. For this exercise, hold your arms parallel to the ground while clasping your hands together so that one palm is facing your face while the other is facing the opposite direction. From there, with a firm clasp, bring your elbows together for 1 second. Then gently pull them apart. Repeat for 5 repetitions, then switch your palms and repeat the process for another 5 repetitions. For the push-pull, raise your arms up directly in front of you and hook your fingers so that one palm faces towards you while the other faces away. From there, pull your arms apart aggressively for 5 seconds. Immediately after, keep pulling your arms apart while moving your arms to the left and right. And do this for 5 repetitions to each side, and don't let your arms drop as you do this. From there, keep pulling your arms while performing 5 circles going forwards, and then 5 circles going backwards. Lastly, as you continue to pull on your arms, make a swimming motion with your shoulders. Perform 5 repetitions going forwards per shoulder, and then perform 5 repetitions going backwards per shoulder. For the box press, raise your arm out directly to your side with your elbow bent to 90 degrees and your palm facing down. Take your other arm and place its hand on top of the bottom of your hand with your thumb pointing upwards. Push your top arm down while pulling your bottom arm up. And hold this position for 5 seconds and then repeat the movement with your palm facing down. Then repeat this movement one more time with your thumb pointing down. After you've done this, you're going to take your top arm and bring it underneath your other arm so that you're now pushing upwards. Push upwards with your thumb pointed up, your palm facing down, and then with your thumb pointing down. Then you can switch up your arms so that your arm that was out in front now goes out to the side, and the arm was at your side gets put out in front. From there, repeat the above series of movements. For arm circles, raise your arms directly out to your side. Start with your palms facing upwards and then perform 3 small, 3 medium, and 3 large circles going forwards. Then perform 3 of each going backwards. Next, repeat this exact same series with your thumbs pointing upwards, again doing 3 small, 3 medium, and 3 large circles going forwards and 3 of each going backwards. Lastly, repeat this entire series one more time with your palms facing the floor. For the palm butt press, place your palms directly over the top of your butt and then press them into your back while simultaneously pulling your shoulders back. Hold this press for 5 seconds and then repeat the press with one hand on top of the other, and then with your palms facing away from your lower back. For the wall press, stand a few inches away from a wall while facing it, and then raise your arms out to the side and place your palms against the wall. From there, aggressively push your palms into the wall and hold for 5 seconds. Then repeat this process with your palms facing the floor, and then with your palms facing the ceiling. And then you get to repeat the exact same series of pushes, but this time while facing away from the wall. So properly warming up your rotator cuff muscles before a workout or physical activity session is a pretty smart move to make if you plan on doing exercises or movements that are going to be using and challenging these muscles. And while there is no shortage of great exercises and regimens to go through, many of them do often require the use of bands or other equipment. Now, bands and equipment are indeed an outstanding way to prep your rotator cuff and shoulder muscles, and I certainly encourage this under numerous circumstances. But it's certainly not a bad idea to have a dedicated protocol that you can perform without any equipment at all whatsoever. And so that's exactly why we've gone through those 11 previous movements, as this way you can now warm up your rotator cuff muscles before any workout or physical activity session without using any other equipment at all. I guess you do have to use a wall for the final exercise, but that should be pretty easy to find. All right, everyone, feel free to hit that like button if you got something helpful or enjoyable from this video, as it really does mean a lot to me. And of course, keep looking after yourselves, keep looking after one another, and keep making all those great things and good stuff happen, and I will see you in the next video.